This is the first in a series of videos that have been produced to walk you through the Adaptation Plan Health Services worksheet. This is a resource produced by Sustainability West Midlands for NHS trusts and integrated care systems and integrated care boards in England through the West Midlands Climate Change Adaptation Programme, funded by the Environment Agency in 2023. The resource and these videos will help you to understand how you could be affected by weather, in particular severe weather events, and how you can ensure the least disruption to your services, improve your chances of a quick recovery, and reduce the impact on the health of your patients and the communities you cover, all through adaptation. This is achieved by helping you to understand the risks posed to your trust sites and communities by climate change, to determine what you can currently do to increase your resilience to severe weather events, and also build a case for extra support and resource to carry out further adaptation that you determine is important, but that you don't necessarily have the resource to do at the moment. There's also a written guide that talks you through this worksheet, which is called Adapt to Survive. The most effective way to understand and complete the worksheet is to use both these videos and the written guide together. And all of these resources can be found on the Sustainability West Midlands website and sustainabitywestmidlands.org.uk/resources/adapt to survive. In the rest of this video, I'll be showing you what the worksheet looks like, what some different aspects of each tab mean, as is shown in the Technical Notes tab of the worksheet, and how to use some of the basic functionalities of Excel that will be useful when completing the exercise. So, to show which section in this guide relates, the Adapt to Survive guide relates to which tab, each tab has a purple box in the top left corner. It looks like this. This one says Adapt to Survive section 3.2. That means that in filling out this tab, section 3.2 of the Adapt to Survive guide talks you through that. Each tab's also got a text box above the table giving a short summary, such as this one here, saying before using the information from tabs 1 and 2, etc. This is very similar to the information that's at the top of the corresponding section, in this case section 3.3, and this just gives you some context for that tab. The table headings for each table are dark purple with white writing, and clicking on each of these column headings will show a yellow pop-up box which gives a bit more detail on what that column contains or what you might need to do to complete it. For example, if you look at tab 2 here, if we click on this one, this shows us that the column here groups the described impacts into those specific to health risks and issues due to disruption to the healthcare system, for example. And if we look at another one, which is something you have to complete yourself, it tells you what to do. So it tells you to assign a number from 1 to 4 for each impact. And it also tells you to have a look at section 3.2 on how to determine the severity level in this context. So those yellow boxes, when you click on them, should hopefully give you some guiding details. Finally, above every column heading is a coloured cell that splits into 3 different types. So if we look at an example of a slightly more complicated table, such as tab 4, the green shows you that these are tabs that have been completed for you already, although you're more than welcome to add sections there as well. For example, you might want to add other potential impacts you've decided. The ones blue here tell you to fill in with information from a previous tab. For example, this one here says severity level with respect to the impacts. You've already determined a severity level for each of the impacts in tab 2 here. So that will tell you then to copy and paste those in. And then finally, yellow is to complete yourself. So that's when something's completely scrapped from scratch, isn't something that's been talked about previously in the tabs. And again, the sections of the Adapt to Survive guide will talk you through often how to complete these. Finally, with respect to being able to filter and sort and play around with a spreadsheet yourself, if we look at tab 5 as an example, because this one has quite a lot of information, sometimes a tab will have little drop downs on each of the cells, which you can see here. That's if there's specific discrete categories within that that gives you choices to select from, rather than being able to type any free text. If you type some text here that didn't correspond to any of those, an error message would come up like this, and it would tell you a little bit about what you need to do instead. Sometimes this is text, other times it's a number, such as the resource required here one, shows you 4 to 5, and then again, if you were to click, it would tell you that you need to set a number from 1 to 5 rather than the number 6 or another number. Then we have free text cells, so those ones just don't have any drop down when you click them and that sort of thing. You can type anything you want in here. These are sections that you can flesh out yourself. When we're looking at a column individually, we can click like this. The little black arrow comes up there. When we want to click an individual row, we can click like this. If you right click on a row, you can click insert and it'll insert an extra row above it. We right click that again, we can delete it. And the same goes for the columns as well. If we want to right click, we can click insert, columns to the left or row above. And then finally is filtering. So when we're looking at techniques, we'll often want to be looking at only certain sections, that sort of thing. For example, we'll often have things like whether or not a technique is feasible. You can see I've already filled out some yes, some no, some blank. Now if we look at the white box here at the bottom right of any column, that allows you to filter. So in this circumstance, let's say we wanted to filter so that we're only looking at the techniques we've decided are not feasible. And then that's how we do that. Or we want to look at only the techniques that are blank, so we haven't determined it yet, to give us our task to do to continue that work without having to look at the ones that we've already completed. Other ways that we can filter and sort are by value. So where there are number values like this, resource required, if we click this drop down, it'll give us the option to sort smallest to largest. So we can look at ones with the lowest resource required, or largest to smallest, which allows us to look at the ones with the largest resource required. Finally, we can sort by specific A to Z, like this. Just one way to organise things, or if we've got specific discrete categories, we can also sort by those. So if we unclick here and we only wanted to look at things that were about outdoor facilities, or if we were in the team individual responsible column, if this was already completed for a few different things, and we only wanted to look at the activities that the procurement team are responsible for, then we can do that as well. Hopefully that's everything you need to know about the practicalities of how to use the spreadsheet and what the different tabs mean. But if you are looking for more support, then the Microsoft support website has some more guidance generally on how to use Excel.